July 1st, 2024, there's a new law going into effect in California that is creating a new disclosure requirement for sellers that have owned a property less than 18 months. It'll affect real estate flippers or anyone that's owned a property 18 months or less that's done any sort of alterations or repairs. I'll explain what this is. It's Assembly Bill 968, and I'll go through it quickly here for you. So it says, a seller of a single-family residential property who accepts an offer for the sale of that residential property within 18 months from the date that title was transferred to the seller, so 18 months since the seller purchased it, must make the following disclosure in addition to the regular required disclosures. And then it says, any room additions, structural modifications, other alterations, or repairs made to the property since the seller became the owner, and that were performed by a contractor. So basically, this is the same that you see on a seller property questionnaire. I mean, a seller already has to disclose any sorts of modifications or room additions. They really should in general. So that doesn't change much, but the next part is where it gets more interesting. The name of each contractor, of course, contractors are going to love this. The name of each contractor with whom the seller entered into a contract for the room additions, structural modifications, other alterations, repairs, etc. And then, of course, the contact information for that contractor. So the seller is not only going to say that they've done remodeling or whatever work has been done on the property, and of course, real estate flippers are going to get hit the hardest with this new law. And in addition to disclosing what work was done, they're going to have to name the contractor that did it. I just can't help but to imagine all these buyers calling the contractor when something goes wrong and the contractor saying, tough luck. Because really, the buyer has no standing. They're not a party to the contract between the former owner and the contractor. That's a separate matter though. And then, so it goes on to just say that the seller's obligation to disclose these additions, modifications, and alterations and repairs can be done on a list, and this will satisfy the requirement. Also, if a seller obtained a permit or didn't obtain a permit, they need to disclose that to the buyer and furnish a copy of the permit if they have one. This isn't too different than what already exists, with the exception of naming a contractor. That's kind of a big deal. And quite frankly, I think it's a little bit excessive, but whatever, it's law. It's going into effect July 1st. It says right down here, this section shall apply to single-family residential properties where the owner has had the property for the 18 months, and it begins July 1st, 2024. So I imagine CAR might make a form just because they make forms for every reason. There are so many overlapping forms that you see in the CAR library. Why not add one more to the hundreds of existing ones? But really, this can be accomplished in a TDS or SPQ. All a seller has to do is add on the contractor's name and give a thorough explanation of any modifications, alterations, repairs, and additions that were made. That's it. Just think of that. Advise your client. If any changes were made, if any upgrades or remodeling, any modification was made, disclose it thoroughly. And it's always wise to put more information available upon request. An attorney told that to me once. He said after a disclosure, so if a seller says something about a remodel or they redid something in the kitchen, the floor, give a succinct example or succinct explanation of the work done, and then write more information available upon request, which leaves the door open. So if a buyer doesn't pursue that additional information, it makes it less likely that they have grounds to stand on saying that they weren't offered the opportunity to get more disclosures. Anyway, so that is the new flipper law that's going into effect. It's AB 968 if you want to read it yourself. It's very short. If you have any questions, please leave a comment. Thank you for watching.